Okay, so guess who's back? That's right. We managed to get Shaggy back home. Been driving around for a couple of days and got a few little niggles, unfortunately, a few lights and electrical stuff, but generally the engine work has been well worth the money. I can't tell you what the difference has made. So let me show you what £5,000 gets you, or the best part of anyway. This is a brand new crate motor from the VW engine company. 2-litre CU engine code, and yeah, super professional job. They were really good. But that's the engine, and it's basically in its form. So yeah, we picked them up on Wednesday, and they were if you've got a Volkswagen and you need an engine, I highly recommend them. The biggest problem we found was tons of mixed advice about what engine to get, what engine to avoid, who to go with, etc, etc. Now, Shaggy's a 1981 Type 25, and he was originally water-cooled, but the person that we bought the van from converted him to air-cooled. So lots of changes have been made. Now, we've had this engine looked at by 3 or 4 local expert companies, but when it went into VW guys in London, they basically said it's all wrong. Not only is obviously it's air-cooled and it should be water, blah blah, which we knew, but the engine is too low. They turned the engine support bar around the wrong way. The gearbox mounts aren't really working. The engine mounts are broken. It sits too low down. It's been made to sit low down so you can fit an exhaust on it. It means that the rubber gasket around the side it helps to keep the engine cool. That doesn't really work because it sit too low. The clutch was wrong. The flywheel was wrong. Now, bear in mind, we've trusted people who are experts to look after our van, and we've gone on their advice, and we've done what they said, and also bear in mind that a couple of those experts came out and tried to get our engine running, and that engine was fatally flawed. It was fatally flawed. There was no way the engine was going to run. It had 2 cylinders with low compression, a worn out camshaft, and it was only thanks to my brother-in-law. So appreciate you coming out, Paul. That was, without your help, we would have never really got to this stage, I don't think. He basically went through the whole engine from start to top, from top to bottom, and said, look, you're basically missing you've got 2 cylinders doing nothing, so you're going to have no fuels coming down, so you're going to get no compression, so you're going to get no engine running on 2 cylinders. And it was that moment that made us decide to go buy a new engine. But again, little things like this CU code engine has hydraulic tappets, which are in the base of the engine, so there's no tappet adjustment on this engine, but we had 2 people come out and adjust the tappets and adjust the valve clearances. Now, Paul did do that, but he did it just to rule out and see if he knew what, and he was correct that it didn't need adjusting, and the people that have fitted the new engine have confirmed it doesn't need adjusting. So again, it's you've got to be really careful who you speak to. You've got to be really careful who you listen to. Now, we spent just a shade under £4,700. That's for a brand new engine. That's taken our old engine as part exchange. We've paid for what they call a turnkey service, which basically means they take all of our ancillaries, our carburetor, distributor, coil, etc., and they test them all to make sure they're any good. Unfortunately, our coil didn't stack up, so that was replaced. But everything else basically was tested. It's been refurbished, so everything's been painted satin black, which looks phenomenal, and they basically prove that stuff's going to work, and for that we get an extra year's warranty. So we've now got a 2-year unlimited mileage warranty, and overall, I just couldn't be happier. We went up to the garage to pick it up. We travelled up by train. Excuse me. We travelled up by train. We then picked up the bus. Well, we had a few problems paying the bill because it was sort of marked for fraud, but that's another story. But we picked up the bus and we drove it back, but they took us for a tour around the workshop. They showed us like every stage of stripping down an engine, to painting the ancillaries, to painting the tin wear. They showed us the whole lot. So it was a phenomenal experience. No ifs, no buts, no questions asked. So yeah, highly recommend them. VW Engine Company in London. They were superb. Their write-ups were brilliant, and they didn't disappoint. So yeah, can't recommend them highly enough. So unfortunately, the good old British weather has taken its toll, and we had to abandon sorting out the little light problem we've ended up with. But yeah, I just wanted to reiterate really the the people at the VW Engine Company London, just first class service. You know, they not only did they look after us all the way through, they found a load of problems with our van, which yeah, well, basically the clutch was wrong, the flywheel was wrong, the engine was too low sat, the coil would packed up. So yeah, they did all that load of extra work as well, and that was very well priced, very reasonable, and I was really happy with just the whole service. When we got there, they took us for a tour around the workshop, and everybody in there had the same work ethic. Everybody was so polite. They showed us, you know, every section of the way when you go from like the engine's out to being stripped to being inspected, and again, everybody was like, you know, it's really very pleasant, very friendly, and just a great vibe. And to spend that sort of money, you know, I felt very comfortable handing over that money. I really felt like I got value for money, and in the end, yeah, just a really good job. So, but just be careful, you know, we've trusted this and my other big VWs to so-called experts in the past, and to put it frankly, we've been totally screwed over. You know, we've paid good money to get good jobs done, and we've just not got our money's value, our value. The engine that was taken out of Shaggy was only 5 years old, and I know 5 years you think, oh well, yeah, but I'll be amazed if we've done 20,000 miles in that time, because we were at the point where we were using him very sparingly, and progressively more and more issues came along, like the hot start developed, and yeah, we've been through starter motors and all sorts of problems. So and we've had these people come out and look at the van, and they've just given us rubbish advice, basically. And like I said, it was only out of my brother-in-law, really. He came out and said, and he had no vested interest in, you know, making money or anything. And that's not a detriment to him or anything, but you know what I mean? He came out with a fresh pair of eyes and just said, right, let's solve this problem. He wasn't on a time crunch. He wasn't on a, you know, being paid by the hour. He was just here and said, right, let's go from top to bottom. And by that point, I mean, I guess by that point we pretty much determined the engine had a big serious problem, but he confirmed our worst fears, I guess, and that the engine needed to be rebuilt. And like I said, we had a local expert come out and spend 2 hours and charge me a lot of money to try and reset valves, which is another story. That the engine we've got in Shaggy comes with hydraulic lifters, and they're not adjustable. They're hydraulic for a reason. They adjust themselves, basically, so you don't have to adjust them. And again, we spent ages adjusting those valves, 2 hours in fact. Charged me a lot of labour, and it was something that didn't need to be done because the engine before had hydraulic valves, so had hydraulic lifters, so the valves don't need to be adjusted. And it's just, you know, these are the sort of things you're contending with when you take your car to a garage or you're trying to get somebody to do a job for you. So just be careful is the bottom line. You know, ask her. I ended up taking it on myself, really, going on to forums, speaking on going to forums that I trusted, where advice that I trusted, and I got pretty much an idea. I bought a compression tester, and I pretty much got an idea that we had no compression. So I knew the engine issue was serious. But then when I turned to my trusted locals, experts, they just let me down massively. So, you know, we've ended up going way out of where we live. I mean, you know, hour and a half. You know, when I say way out, but we've gotten to a 30-year experienced Volkswagen engine builder, and my God, can you tell the difference? You know, the look of the engine, it just looks first class. You know, there's no, and everything's been done. All the ancillaries have been painted. Everything looks absolutely 100% finished, professionally kitted out. And then because we asked them to refurbish all of our stuff, we've then ended up with a 2nd-year warranty. So we've now got 2-year unlimited mileage warranty on that engine. So it gives us great peace of mind to be driving around. And again, our carburetor, which was reused, isn't perfect. And they explained all that to us and said, you know, you've got some issues with it. Hopefully it will sort itself out. But they've even offered us to help us get a new carburetor from Weber, should we need one. And they've advised us to stick with the carb. Whereas everybody else has told me that carb can't possibly work with that engine. There's no way you'll get it working. And it's a poor carburetor, and it's bad advice. And again, we were advised initially to buy that carburetor. So then we went ahead and spent, and don't get me wrong, that's a £550 kit. It's not a cheap kit, and it's not a cheap carburetor. It's a full, proper Weber carburetor. So it's a top-end carburetor. And again, you know, we were told it would, all through this we've been told it won't work, bin it, get a set of twin carbs on it, that thing's a waste of time. But when this guy said, look, it'll work absolutely fine. It's a really good carb, the choke works perfectly, no problems with it whatsoever. It works absolutely fine. And they've even said, when we need to, if we get to the route where we want to replace it, they'll just charge us cost for a carburetor, and they'll charge us a minor bit of labour to fit it, because they deal with Weber all the time. And again, you know, he could have made money out of us at that point. He could have told me new carbs, new twins, whatever. We would have done it because we wanted the van to be spot on. So yeah, I can't emphasize enough, you know, it's worth getting to know your own vehicle. We've watched obviously people on YouTube like Ash and CJ at Ash Pollard and CJ at Project Amber, and obviously Mark Collum at Other Van and stuff. And it's worth getting to know your own van. I'm telling you, you can't underestimate how important it is to know what you're driving around, especially if you're A, living in it full time, and B, obviously, you know, doing a lot of travelling. You need to know it's four boys and it's ifs and it's, you know, it's where it goes wrong and why it goes wrong, and also. If you don't know that, a mechanic you can trust is worth its weight in gold. I just can't emphasise enough, you know, just how much. I mean, I've got a bay window crew cab, which I spent, again, good money with a local guy to have the engine built. The engine's been a waste of time ever since. Spewed oil everywhere the whole time I had it. Very underpowered. Just a complete waste of money. So again, you know, I know where that van's going to be going now. When she's restored and she needs her engine, she's going back to the same place we did it. And it's, you know, obviously we're 2 weeks or a week into ownership of this engine, even not even that, maybe even a few days. But the comfort and the confidence I have in what they've done is immeasurable. I can't put a price on it. And it was a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, as I said, it was a lot of money. It was just under £5,000. It was a lot of money, but it's given us the peace of mind to now jump in the van. And next year we want to do the NC 500. I have absolutely no reservations now. You know, I just need to just jump in the van, turn the key, boom, away we go. We have no worries about breaking down or, I mean, you know, inevitably breakdowns are inevitable. I'm sure it's going to happen. I mean, we've got the van back from London with a brand new engine. It's decided the wiring side to have a play around now. So we've got one indicator on one side not working and the brake light's not working at all. So we're just working our way through that. But as I say, it's chucking it down rain, so we've given up for today. But so on a 30-year-old van, you know, I expect problems. But I also expect to pay experts and get expert advice. And this time we've hit gold. So yeah, if you've got any questions, anybody's got any, you know, wants some recommendations, if you want to know more about the company, it was the VW Engine Company. They're based in London, and I'd highly recommend them if you've got an old air-cooled, water-cooled. They do the lot. And obviously, like I say, they've had to take a very difficult job. Really, it's not a straightforward engine swap. This was a water-cooled van originally, converted to air by the previous owner. Not done very well by the sound of it, wiring issues and other bits and pieces, and they've basically taken care of everything to do with the engine that was done by other people. They haven't phoned us up and charged us a fortune to put stuff right. We got to charge cost prices effectively for all the additional, I mean, a clutch and a flywheel was part of a huge list of extra parts we needed, and that whole list of parts came to £800. So I mean, if you took your VW to a garage to get a clutch in, I think it would be £300 to £500 on its own. So to get all that extra work done for that money, yeah, it really is superb. So yeah, hopefully, well, I say hopefully, this is it now. You know, we are up and running. We've got Shaggy to the point where he's going to become he could be a daily driver, which will be the plan. I will, over the next couple of weeks, hopefully, I will sell my car, and he's going to be my daily driver, and we're going to just use him and love him like we've tried to before, but we've just been stuck with these engine problems. So yeah, we're going to revamp the interior. We've got loads of stuff coming, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. If you're not subscribed, please do. If you're subscribed and you like what you see, obviously we're brand new to this, so we're just getting to grips with it. Please share it and let us know if you've got any feedback or questions, please leave them below. But yeah, love to meet some of you on the road in the future, and we'll update you in the next video. Thanks very much.